How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today we're going to take a look at the question that everyone always wants to know, especially now. Has Bitcoin bottomed? Has the cryptocurrency market bottomed? We're going to take a look at some charts that I've never shown on the channel before, take a look at some of the top news. If you guys don't mind hitting the like button and subscribe button, I appreciate that. There's also a link down there to BlockFi. They've already paid out over $15 million worth of crypto in rewards on their credit card. If you guys want to check that link out to the credit card, I have it down there. But also you can get up to a $250 bonus when you start depositing. There's also a link to Unstoppable Domains. They're a partner of the channel. They're doing this giveaway. They do giveaways like this all the time. You can get a readable wallet address, and you can also try to go sell these on the secondary market and make some money there. Now, Bitcoin had a little bit of a pump here recently. We were at about 39,000, pumped up over 40,000, about a $1,300 move after we fell earlier today. Now, the reason we fell earlier today, well, we had some liquidations, about $150 million worth of longs liquidated. We've also had some shorts liquidated as well. But we're having this back and forth. There are a variety of reasons for why people are scared, whether it's the 10-year, whether it's how strong the dollar is. There are a variety of reasons for why we've fallen recently. Also, the stock market's pretty back and forth too. People are worried about inflation and what the Fed's going to do here soon, the coming recession, all that kind of thing. Now, let's take a look at some indicators here. So here we can see the 50-day. We fell through that. We're way below the 200-day, which is up here. We are around this 600-day moving average, and you can see we're just above it now. We fell below it earlier. It's around 39.5 or so. We also have this trend line earlier, or a little bit lower, around 35,500. You can see that we bounced off it several times. Now, I really like looking at this because you can just see that our lows are getting higher, even our highs are getting higher, but I do like looking at that because it is quite positive in my opinion. So from here, if we can flip 40,000 into support and then break through the 50-day, then break through this 42.5 number, get back over 45,000, then attack the 200-day. You know, there are a lot of different things that we need to hit, a lot of different resistances we need to break through. But I think it is important to take a look at the logarithmic regression bands. Benjamin Cohen talks about this a lot. This is just something that's really positive to look at as a crypto investor, something that's really motivational in a way. I mean, you can buy at the top, you can buy at the bottom, but you can see as time goes on, we're just trending up with time. I mean, if you haven't looked into this, it's basically showing when Bitcoin's oversold or overbought. And if you can buy when it's lower in these bands down here, it's obviously better than when you buy up in these bands. But what this shows you is over time, if you can buy and hold, you'll probably do well. Now, you don't want to buy at the top, you don't want to buy when we're overbought, but if you buy around here or even, in here, you're going to be fine over the long term. It also shows you that there are going to be diminishing returns over time. We're not expecting to do another 100 million% return over the next 12 or 13 years like we just did, but you can see that we should continue to trend up with time. And as time goes on, right, even if we're trading sideways, the bottom value of Bitcoin gets higher as more adoption happens and as time passes. Now, we can also see that just the amount of searches for Bitcoin is really low. Like if you want to look for a bottom indicator, well, we haven't been this low in searches in 15 months. So no one's really excited about crypto. No one's really getting excited or wondering what it is. So there aren't that many new participants coming into the space as much as just like a year ago. There's also a ton of illiquid supply of Bitcoin. As time goes on, I mean, you can just see these spikes, right? There's a lot of Bitcoin that's just being held by long-term holders now as well. This is the most that we've seen in Bitcoin supply not moved in 1 year, 63.7%. We have several entities just buying and holding. So these are all, I don't want to say bottom indicators because I guess you never know when the bottom is, but these are telling us, hey, this is quite positive. I mean, that's what we hear from just about everyone in the space, is that everything is looking positive, especially compared to last year when we were running up to 64,000 and we were just at 3,000 or 4,000. We were getting a very quick run up. Now we've ranged sideways for a year and a half. We've kind of gotten our foundation underneath us again. and now everything's looking a little bit more fundamentally sound. We also have several countries that are trying to make Bitcoin legal tender, which is taking a while. I think longer than a lot of us expected, especially because El Salvador already did that, but we don't know how long they're working on it. Also, we are expecting their volcano bonds to come later this year, El Salvador's, probably in September. But in the meantime, we have events happening even sooner than that. I've covered this a lot this year, but we're supposedly getting a lot of customers, a lot of bank clients that are supposed to get access to crypto throughout the year too, really in the first couple quarters. At least that's what we've been told in the past. Now, I haven't heard too much about this recently, but that's also another great thing, is there's going to be a lot more people flowing into the space, which is going to help some of these long-term holders maybe get out. And then you can see when long-term holders drop down, that's when the pump happens, or vice versa. It's probably more that the price starts to go up and then these long-term holders start selling. So that might be another thing that happens here soon that brings in more capital that allows these long-term holders to then distribute, and then for the price to continue to push up over time. We also have a bunch of companies that are getting into crypto. I mean, any of these companies could announce something. It would be a huge, huge announcement if they bought Bitcoin or crypto, or anything that they want to do in the space is a pretty big deal right now. And this is banks, also tech companies, credit card companies, so much money and capital flowing into the space. We just got news of WonderFi, which is Kevin O'Leary's company, that they're buying a Canadian crypto exchange for $30 million. This is just something that they've been doing with a lot of different companies, and there's just so much money flowing around that you've got to think that we're going to go up from here, because otherwise all these large institutions wouldn't be putting so much money into some of these different companies unless they thought there was a massive future, and not 5-10 years down the line, but more like in the next couple of years, they think there's going to be a lot of potential in this investment. Now, we also have regulation coming, hopefully in the next year, to crypto, which will hopefully bring in a lot more capital. Just a thought. we have large entities as well buying large amounts of crypto. So that is why I think we are, if not at the bottom, we're pretty close. We could always fall back down to 35, 36, maybe even lower than that. But as time goes on, even if we're ranging sideways, we're getting closer and closer to a bottom, because the value of Bitcoin as time goes on continues to increase. So that's just something to think about. I always like having some money on the sidelines, which is why I did want to bring up the fact that Terra just flipped BUSD, and we're at $17.6 billion worth of market cap. I made a video earlier today talking about how you can always make money in crypto in 5 different ways. One of those is putting stablecoin on something like Anchor Protocol. I just thought that was interesting. Again, that they flipped BUSD. They still have a long way to go before they flip USDC, which is at a $50 billion market cap. But recently, Michael Saylor talked about his second favorite crypto, and he actually talks about stablecoin, how he thinks that's going to do quite well. So just wanted to bring that up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Again, you can check out BlockFi and Unstoppable Domains, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.